Hello and welcome to my channel. I've been asked quite a lot recently about the materials I use and which materials I recommend for beginners when you're just starting out in watercolour and you haven't done anything before, what to go and buy. Now if you go into an art shop, there's so much, it can be overwhelming about which colours to buy, which brushes to buy. There are so many different sorts of brushes and things, and so a lot of beginners can, really wonder about what they should be buying. So I just thought I would go through what I would recommend as a little starter kit to get you going in your watercolours. So first of all, I've got the board for fixing my paper to. Now you don't necessarily need a board. You could make one yourself out of some hardboard, which is a cheaper option, or you can cut some, that heavy sort of Corex, you could use that as well. Or you can just use your pad. Now just one moment. If you're using a watercolour pad, you obviously can't tape it to the board then, so you can use something like a bulldog clip to clip your pad paper down in your pad as well. So you need your board and obviously your paper. Now your paper, I would recommend, so whether you buy it in a pad or a gummed pad or a loose pad, I would recommend for a beginner buying £140, so that's pounds in weight, not pressed. Now not pressed just refers to not hot pressed. So we have cold pressed and we have hot pressed and we have not, which is in between the two. So for a beginner I would recommend a not paper, and I would recommend it to be £140 or 300 grams. So the next thing we need is tape to tape your paper to the board. Like I said, if you're using a pad and you're happy just to work in your sketch pad, you do need to just clip the edges down so that the paper isn't warping. The reason that we tape it to the board, or that we clip it down, is so that when we put the water onto the paper and it's absorbing the water, it will warp as it absorbs it if it isn't fastened down. So I use a masking tape. Now you can buy this from art suppliers, but you can also just buy it from the DIY shop. So it's not anything special, it's just the ordinary masking tape. So that's probably less expensive actually if you buy it from the DIY shop. So the next thing of course is your pencil. Now to set off with a H, that's actually a H that I'm using at the moment, but a HB, anything in the sort of mid-range of the pencils to begin with. So just an ordinary pencil. A knife for sharpening as well, I should have said actually. I don't use a pencil sharpener, you can tell I use a knife for sharpening, you get a much better point. So I use a Stanley knife, but if you've just got a pencil sharpener that's fine. A rubber, the one I use, this one is from Derwent, which I find really nice. You can get all sorts of different erasers, some of them smudge an awful lot if it's just a cheap one. So I really like this one from Derwent, that's the one I use all the time. Again, I'll put all the links below to all these products as well if you want to have a look later in the description, because I know it's a lot to take in. So brushes. The two brushes that I would recommend you start off with are a round brush, which refers to this, and I would get a number 6 to begin with and a number 20, that one is, or even bigger. If you want as well, I would also recommend that you get a nice big flat brush for putting your washes on. So it just depends on your budget, how many brushes you want to buy to begin with. You may want to buy a much smaller brush for fine detail, but if you buy one that's got a nice point on it, you can get a nice fine line, and also actually you can get a nice fine line with the edge of a flat brush like that as well. So I would recommend those three. So we've got an inch flat, a 20 round and a 6 round there. So the main thing with your brushes is, these are synthetic ones. We've got 2 of those are Daler Rowney and one is I think Winsor & Newton, or is it a Jackson's? It may be a Jackson's one actually. So the main thing is to look that they've got a nice fine point to them when they're round like that. I would buy as a beginner a synthetic one. Don't go buying expensive sable brushes, there's absolutely no need, there's nothing wrong with the synthetic ones. Okay, and the other thing of course you need is a palette. Now the essential thing with your palette is to buy it and make sure it's white. If you have a coloured palette that's blue or black or whatever, when you mix your colours in it, they're not going to look the true colour that they are going to be on your paper. So you need a white palette in order to sort of judge what colours you're using. So this is a white ceramic one. The reason I like it is it's nice and heavy. So really this is for using in the studio. It's not very portable. You wouldn't take it out in the field with you. But it's got obviously spaces to put your brushes, and it's got plenty of mixing places there. So again, like the paper, this is from the Society of All Artists. And again, I'll put the links for that one below as well. So the nice thing about that is it's not rocking around, it's nice and heavy. Now colours. So whether you buy student quality paints or whether you buy artist quality paints is entirely up to you and your budget. So the difference between student's quality and artist quality is the amount of binder that's in them. So with the artist quality, there's a higher concentration of pigment to binder. So that's the main difference. The actual colours themselves are very similar, or the same, the pigments are the same, but with the student's quality you'll need to lift more off to get the same intensity of colour. But like I said, that just depends on your budget. I've always bought the artist quality ones because I find them much easier to work with. As far as colours go, you don't need this many colours to begin with. You probably don't even need the amount of colours that come in a standard set to begin with. I would recommend 2 blues, Ultramarine and Cobolt to begin with. I would recommend, so that's that one and that one. 2 yellows, probably yellow ochre and a cadmium yellow, an Alizarin Crimson, a burnt Sienna, and probably a burnt Umbre as well. So that's burnt Sienna and burnt Umbre as well. So you should be able to mix most colours with your 3 primaries. So if you're doing landscapes and things and you want some nice greens, greys, browns, with those few colours you should be able to get all of those. And if you have fewer colours to begin with, it teaches you more about colour mixing and using your 3 primaries to make your greens, your browns and your greys yourself. I never use black. Every set you buy seems to have a black in it, and some even have a white in, and you never need, in watercolour you're never going to need a white paint. We use the white of the paper for the white. So and the black as well I never ever use. I don't like black, so I wouldn't recommend you buying that. The blacks are very flat. You can make a really dark colour that's almost black from your ultramarine and your burnt sienna. If you want Payne's Grey is another one that a lot of people like, and you might want to add that to your list. Again, it depends on the subjects that you're going to be painting and your own personal preference with your colours really. But don't go mad buying every single colour in the shop. You really don't need them, and you can always add to them later on. So with this one, when I originally bought it, it was the 2 down each side, and then I filled it in along the middle, so you can make your own palette up of the colours that you want to choose. Okay, so I hope that's been helpful to beginners regarding materials. Sorry, one thing I have missed out, and that of course, well actually 2 things now, I'm just looking over there. Your pot for putting your water in, so nice marmalade jar there. So you need 2 pots always, one for cleaning your brush and one for the water for mixing your colours up, and the other essential thing that you need is kitchen towel. So after that, anything else that you buy is sort of in addition, but that's your basic kit. So 2 or 3 really nice synthetic brushes, nothing too expensive, a good palette, your paper. With your paper, buy the best you can afford. Having said that, this is really reasonable for the quality of it, this SAA practice paper. Daler Rowney also do you know, a good £140 paper in a pad as well. Okay, so I hope that's useful. If you have any questions, please do put them in the comments below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. All the materials I use, I do try and put in my Amazon shop, but sometimes it's not easy because that's only on Amazon.com at the moment, so it's only things that are available on Amazon.com that I can put in there, so things that are available in the USA. But if you do have a look at that shop, that just, even if you're here in the UK, that just shows you the type of things that I would recommend, and that's always in the description below on all the videos I do. Okay, so thank you very much for watching, and bye for now.